Hey guys, how do you bully me into doing the intro? This is episode 15. Welcome back to Beer Bites.
Boo! That's pretty good. Completely false, but lying during Ramadan. Fi Ramadan?
we were Nah, listen. I look, we were arguing like, "Hey, do you have an intro for this episode?" No. Okay. Well, I think I have one. Well, no, you okay. Well, you go. No. And then anyways, so we're just here. Rip the band-aid off. You're hearing, you know what you're
Yes.
getting into when you clicked on this episode. Is this the first episode that you're tuning in? Welcome. We're a bunch of guys to talk about video games.
A bunch being
Uh,
two.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
actually, okay, this is random. Okay, so it was funny. I had an argument with my coworker,
Mm-hmm.
um, because I was like, he was asking me something. I was like, hey, give me a couple of minutes. After 2 minutes, he like messaged me, and I was like, dude, I said, give me a couple of minutes. He's like, bro, a couple is two. I was like, no, dude, a couple can mean like like a handful,
Right.
like 5 minutes. And he was like, no, dude, I'm like a husband and wife are married. That's a couple. It's not like five people together. I was like, this guy, I can't.
He's not wrong though. Technically, a couple is
In
two.
this day and age, sorry, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh, we got a good amount of stories for you guys today. We're talking about Twisted Metal, Bandai Namco, EA, and I think the biggest story that's going to be coming out of here is the Monster Hunter Wild sales numbers. But yeah, let's get going. Okay, how was your week, Ahmed? What did you end up doing?
Our brother's struggling out here, man. I can't. I'm tired.
Yeah,
It's just that time of the year, bro.
yeah.
Uh, but the sun's coming out at least. Spring is around the corner.
Alhamdulillah.
Daylight savings, if your country participates in it, is happening soon.
Oh yeah.
So time to spring forward, guys. No, but
Mm.
it's been all right, man. Just I haven't really gamed that much.
Yeah.
But I Hadi and I have been playing Repo,
Oh
which is
man,
like this
such a good game.
indie game that's kind of like Lethal Company. And if you don't know what Lethal Company is, the premise is you and a group of friends go into like this spooky area to steal a bunch of delicate, high valuable items, and then you're supposed to extract with it. And the premise is you're supposed to use in-game voice chat, and there are monsters that can pick up to how you're talking, and they're all pretty unique and interact with you in different ways. So there's a lot of like, all right, bro, help me carry this like big TV, and then you just hear like a noise. You're like, all right, shut up, stop talking,
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
moving.
Yeah, it's
It's pretty fun.
very fun game. Ahmed is very good at, there's a type of humor that you have in these kinds of games. It's like improv humor where it's like you just make the most out of the situation. Ahmed's very good at that, so it's makes the game very fun.
Like it's because I feel like if you play the game solely just to be like strictly objective based,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, it can get a little bit boring. But like I think sometimes you just need to goof around,
Yeah.
which can sour the mood for other folks. But like we were in this like tight corridor, and there was like this like scarecrow clown with like
Knives on her
sword
hands and
arms.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So like she's like slowly walking and we're all there. Then like one of our friends like goes into a room like behind her, and then I was like, yo, I didn't say anything. I just closed the door. And he got trapped. He got trapped in there, and then like I didn't hear anything. I just see that like whenever you damage an item, it'll like showcase on screen. So like you don't hear anything. You just see like minus 100, minus 100. So it's like the the dude was just getting beat up there. I was like, oh no.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But so that was that. So that's what I've been doing. And then on the side, there's a guy I follow on Twitter. He's a GameSpot editor. I think his name is like Taimur Hassan or Hussein. He's like the only brown public figure on GameSpot.
Yeah.
And he posted like a list of a couple demos, and he's like, I really recommend these for folks to try them out. So I tried a couple of them. One of them was called Haste Broken World.
Nice.
It's the game Sonic should have been. Like it's so weird because like it captures the feeling of movement very well.
Yeah.
The premise of this game is you're this girl that runs insanely fast, and like you gain speed based off how high you jump and how you like land on the
On the
ground.
hill, the angle at which you land at the hill, and if you get a
Yeah.
good like angle, you get a better multiplier and more speed and all that kind of stuff. There's a
Yeah.
mobile game like this. I don't remember the name of it, but essentially you throw a ball on a hill and you can control its descent by pressing on the screen. And if you hit the angle right, you get a bigger like jump off of it. So it's that kind of concept, but in 3D. But yeah, sorry, you were saying.
No, no, that's a good explanation. But it's such an interesting game because I've never seen like, I've never played a game like this.
Same.
And they were able to kind of wrap it around like I don't want to say roguelike, or I guess maybe it's like a run aspect where there's like a map, and every like you complete a level, and then once you complete it, gives you like a fork in the road, kind of like Slay the Spire, or
Very much like Slay the Spire. I would say it's actually
or like in
yeah.
Yeah, I guess, or like maybe I was gonna say Inscription, where it's like you have like you can choose what level you're gonna do next.
Yeah.
And some levels have gimmicks. Some levels are just like a normal level.
Some of those have NPCs there.
Yeah,
things like
or like
that.
a shop or something. Yeah, and then at the end there's a boss.
Yeah.
And then the game just feels very good.
It does, yeah, that's the thing. Like,
yeah.
I played it as well. Like a little bit of a spoiler, but I played it as well for my weekend. It was like because you recommended it, and genuinely it's such a good, fun, good like experiencing game to where it's like I'm putting this on my wish list right now, and I'm gonna wait till it comes out because I want to play more of it, and like that's it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The demo ends with like giving you like a small area to free run, and like I find myself just going back to boot up to just free run. Honestly, like that's how good it feels.
Yeah.
There's even like a little jetpack, a surfboard thing that you can get, so like makes you even go faster. So I mean that was really neat, and then looking forward to that one. And then the other game I played, the other demo was called Is This Seat Taken? The premise is you have like there's like, let's just say a car, and or like a limousine or a bus, and then everyone, you have like a group of people that all have preferences. Someone's like, oh, I want to sit next to the window.
Oh,
Another
this
one says,
game. Yeah.
they're like, I want to sit next to the window, but I don't want anyone near me. Or hey, I really want to be next to my girlfriend. And then they're like, someone's like, oh, I didn't shower. And someone's like, well, I don't want to be sitting next to anyone stinky. So it's one of those like puzzle games where you have to sequence the things a certain way. Which is, it's like a nice game, and it has a very good UI kind of feel to it, which kind of I realize more and more there's like unspoken elements that like when you look at it kind of like makes things feel good. Maybe that's why a lot of people say iOS feels better, because they like trick your brain in doing the whole like everything's rounded corners thing, you know, like or like it just has a look and a feel. Well, on paper this game sounds like didn't seem interesting to me, but I tried it and I was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, I downloaded it just
good.
now, just try it. So it looks dope.
Yeah. I was supposed to be playing Split Fiction yesterday, but freaking Amazon.
Yeah, okay. When is yours coming in?
Bezos? Okay, it's supposed to be coming tomorrow. Like, oh, so I got a notification saying, oh, it'll be coming on the 16th, which is like 10 days.
Yeah, mine too.
Freaking Jeff Bezos, I gave you my money to get this day one. Y'all he's not even the CEO, but I'm gonna blame him anyways.
Yeah.
Bald-headed dude, Lex Luthor. Can't even get video games right.
That's what I'm confused about.
Yeah, I was debating like canceling it and just getting it digitally, but they said, oh, it's coming tomorrow. So I was like, all right, man. Like, I didn't want to go through the hassle.
Yeah.
Actually, whatever. Anyways, man, it's whatever. One day, this is the test Allah gave me, man.
Yeah.
I can't have my video games early.
Yeah. my video games, where are they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I was also confused as to why. Like, I ordered it and I was like, all right, it's coming. It'll come the next day. And then it's like, oh, actually, how about March 17th? I'm like, huh?
Hey, dude, are you? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but don't they know freaking video games are stacked up? Like, come on, man. I'm supposed to be like.
Don't they know who I am?
Yeah, exactly, man. It's like, this is exactly why I'm not gonna pre-order Assassin's Creed Shadows from Amazon.
That's why. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but no, Heike, I'm pretty sure just everybody and their mom wanted to play this, and maybe they just weren't anticipating this. Like, I'll be honest, if there is a contender to beat out GTA 6, this is this game. Heike.
You think so?
Oh, 100%. Like, cause I think what's gonna happen is GTA 6 is gonna come out. People are like, oh my god, so next gen, this, but then the gameplay structure is not gonna be like it's gonna be kind of lackluster. Like, because I don't know what more they can do in a GTA game. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like the jump between 4 and 5, I did not feel like was as crazy. It just felt like you're playing another Rockstar game.
Well, this one you can play as a woman as a main character.
Whoa, DI. She's not even white. What the heck?
All jokes. We don't mean it.
Is it really a joke if it's real?
Stop. Gonna get us canceled.
Dude, it's funny because I'm laughing pretty hard. I don't know if my nose suppression is catching this up, but yeah. Anyways, so that's it from my end, man. What about you? What you been up to? How's your week?
Week is good. Work is busy, so I haven't had a huge. Well, I've had a good amount of time to play games. I've been playing. Talk about Haste. Talk about Repo. Repo's really fun. Really enjoying it. It's one of those games where I want to play like a lot more of it, but I also want to pace myself so I don't overdo it. If that makes sense. But I still want to play more. Probably gonna play more tonight, to be honest. And then I played Griftlands. I've talked about this before. It's essentially I've talked it with you before, not necessarily on the podcast. It's a deck building game that has an interesting concept where you play as a character and you're going through like their story, having different encounters, and each encounter is unique in that it's either a conversation encounter or it's a combat encounter, both of which use 2 different decks that you build over the course of your run. Gain XP for your cards, they have upgrades, all that stuff, and it's really neat because it does this thing where it's like each deck has 2 paths you can go. And even then it gets more and more like there's synergies and things like that. It's a really cool game in that like it does the roguelike deck builder thing in a very unique way. It's a very nice polished game. The art is amazing. The story is pretty good as well. Overall, just a great time. I definitely recommend Griftlands to anybody who hasn't tried it. And then besides that, I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter Wilds, which is one of the, it's a pretty fun game. Honestly, I played a little bit last time we talked on the podcast, but let me check how many hours I have in it now, actually, because I am curious. Let me see. As of now, I have 15 hours in the game, and it came out last Friday-ish. So it's pretty good. Honestly, it's a really fun game. There's a lot of stuff in it. It runs like garbage, and I hope that they release a patch for that soon. But they do this interesting thing with Monster Hunter Wild specifically in that if you're playing the game, and the game realistically starts at high rank. This is true for all Monster Hunter games, but for this game, and it's been a complaint that people have been saying that this game is very handholdy for the campaign, and yes, it is. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's not. However, the difference here is that they handhold you through like the campaign because they're telling you a story. It's very much like a linear thing. In my opinion, I don't think it's that bad in terms of like the handholdiness and stuff like that. You still play the game, you still get to hunt monsters, things like that. And I think the story is actually pretty good. They make your hunter like a proper badass, like things happen in the story that like your hunter like can respond to and actually like fight back and things like that. Because in World, what happened was like your hunter always was like on the run, always scared, always getting beat up. Here it's like a complete opposite, where like your dude always gets like a hit in before the fight starts, or like, you know, is able to see something coming. So it's a cool way to write the story, and I'm kind of going through it, just breezing through it to kind of just get to the high rank, and I'm enjoying my time with it so far.
Dude, so if I kind of guess the story, is it like
a
monster kills your brother and you're like, I gotta get vengeance, and then at the end you forgive the monster that killed you?
No, it's not like that. But it might be similar. I don't know. There's like a story of like a villager like who's like his village has like made the monsters or something. I don't really know the exact details as of now. Like they're still like unpacking it, if that makes sense. And I don't want to spoil it obviously for people who are cared, but what you said is not correct, just so you're that's crazy, man. Yeah. All right, bro. My Capcom put me in. I got you. Let me write it out. Yeah. But other than that, that's all I've played. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I watched. I don't think so. I haven't really had time to watch anything realistically. But yeah, I guess, do you want to...
How do you not watch while eating dinner, man?
Well, dinner... Actually... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because during Ramadan, at least we just don't have time. But we usually just have dinner and we just sit and chill and vibe. We don't really... Like sometimes we watch stuff, but generally we just like to. Because here's the context, right? Our TV's upstairs, and our obviously dinner and kitchens and stuff is downstairs. So we gotta heat up our food, bring it up, and stuff like that. We're just like, yeah, like whatever, we'll just eat down here, type thing. You know?
Fair.
Yeah. But yeah, did you get a chance to try Avowed for Is It Gas on Game Pass?
Brother, I'm on the struggle bus. I don't. I do not have Game Pass.
Oh, fair enough.
This segment's all you. You're just gonna be talking to yourself. Just get the mirror out, bro.
No.
Look at it. Look at the mirror, then talk to yourself.
I have nothing else to say. I have not played Avowed since we last touched it. So much so that I'm like, I don't want to play this again. I uninstalled it. That's where we're at. So I guess we'll pause Gas on Game Pass for Ramadan, and then we'll come back to it after Ramadan, just because it's we don't have we ain't got the time right now.
Yeah.
But,
I really hope that they add Yakuza Pirate on here. I was talking to a friend. I want to play it, but he was like, bro, don't play it during Ramadan. Apparently, since it's in Hawaii, there's bikinis and stuff. So, I mean, maybe I should not be playing it after Ramadan either, but it's one of those things where you're just like, damn, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't,
Yeah,
Maybe I should just play Microsoft Paint or something,
Microsoft Flight Sim.
Yeah, make the Muslim guy drive a plane during Ramadan. Okay.
Yeah, salam.
Well, that's literally what you said. I don't know what to say, man.
That's true, actually. Well, under Trump's America, DI crashes planes, so you know how it is.
Well, everything under Trump's America is interesting.
Yeah,
just like video game. No, sorry.
Well, okay. Then we could jump right into the news here. Let me write down this timestamp. 1 second. Let's see. There we go.
While he's writing the timestamp, comment below how your day was when you're listening to this, not during the recording. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah. Do that. Okay. So first story on the docket is apparently the canceled Twisted Metal game would have been a battle royale where you could get out of your car. I'm glad this game is canceled because this idea seems like really stupid. I don't know why anyone. Well, first off, I don't know if the world needs another Twisted Metal game. I don't know if it's one of those things where people are asking for it, and I don't think it would sell well in this day and age. But to make it like a battle royale where you can get out of the car and do like that, in my opinion, I think that makes it even worse. I don't know. What do you think?
It's like I feel like the game itself is like a hard I don't know. You look at gaming over the years, and there's some games that just feel very of their time, right? You could argue that platformers in a way kind of felt stuck to their time, but they either from nostalgia or just kind of the lack of variety in gaming, people are seeking something else. For some reason, Twisted Metal and other kind of car games doesn't feel as compelling.
Yeah.
It's think about I'm not oh my god, I need to drive a car and hit people. The only time I feel that is when I think about man, I really want to just play a quick round of Mario Kart. But that's to play Mario Kart or a game like it's locked behind so much. You have to get a Switch, you have to get people together, and then you have to sit down and play.
Yeah.
Whereas, so I feel like I'm not yearning for it, and I feel like maybe other people aren't yearning for it. I mean, I can see why they would want to twist it up. No, that if they want to do something new to the formula, because sometimes okay, for example, if you told me that Kratos from the God of War trilogy on PS2 PS3 now becomes a dad and is and it's a more slow paced
narrative experience. Yeah,
you're like, dude, this is stupid, why would you make this? But then it could play out.
That's fair. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe a battle royale could have worked. I don't know. But like you said, I don't know if Twisted Metal is a franchise that people have been like, oh, I want it. They made a Twisted Metal TV show, I remember, and from what I remember, it did not do well. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, who knows? We have a friend that really wants Twisted Metal, so maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they go because also there's a thing where I feel like if a concept is so good that some people do spiritual successors. But I feel like I don't know. We have not seen that. In a way, but we'll see. Maybe they just need to take it back to the drawing board and see how to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I feel like this could be perfect as like a $40 or $30 game, if I'm being honest. Like it doesn't need to be the world's craziest
Yeah.
thing, but they need to know how to hit this. It doesn't need to be a $70 game, but I feel like they look at it as like a premium IP. They're like, well, if we sell it for lower, it devalues it. But they need to know like the weight of what they're making.
That's what you got, bro. Like you're not GTA.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, let's see. I mean, maybe it'll come back, but I doubt it. Like with things like these, like usually if it's dead, it stays dead for a while. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah. Okay, that leads us to our next story. New Rivals game mode. With this new recent update, Rivals has announced a new game mode called Clone Rumble. Basically, everyone picks the same hero, or I think both teams pick the same. Essentially, everyone can play the same hero, and it's one of those things where it sounds like fun. I think Overwatch is something similar as well. But then the question
it launched Overwatch launched with this. Basically, you can have a team of like 6 bastions.
Okay.
In competitive, if I'm not mistaken.
No. There's no way. In
No,
competitive?
at the very beginning, they were like, "Yeah, bro, just do all of it," and it was
I thought the whole. Okay.
Anyways, I feel like they're like low key like stealing their flow.
Yeah.
Anyways, I cut you off. Go for it. Yeah.
No. I mean, yeah, I would agree that they are still in their flow. I think it's hitting that area of like I haven't played much of it recently. I think it's hitting that area of like, okay, like yeah, this is really fun, but I think I'm kind of just over the whole hero shooter thing for me personally. So, but we'll see. I might play some more because the thing is none of our friends play it, right? So that's kind of a big thing as well.
Yeah, the crew that I used to play with, like everybody just dropped it. Like I have not played since January 26th, and even before then, it was like I put. Actually, it's crazy, dude. The grip that this had on me, like it was like I put 80 hours here, then 10 hours on an alt account. It was that crazy that I went for it. It's someone was saying, imagine everybody just goes Doctor Strange, and then they open it all, your PC explodes.
So, funny enough, they actually banned certain heroes from this game mode entirely.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna say next. Yeah, so Clone Rumble is now live. These heroes are all banned in the mode. Doctor Strange, Loki, Cloak and Dagger, Luna Snow, Invisible Woman, and Adam Warlock.
Dude, why? That's so.
To be fair, Doctor Strange would create bombs
yeah.
in people's homes because that would destroy, like, oh my god.
Bro, can you imagine that would be like assassination attempt? Or you'd be like, oh, like some government official, his kid is playing Rivals. All right, go, everybody join this game, Doctor Strange all, and then, damn, dude. But yeah. I don't understand the other people. Like, is it just?
Well, yeah. The thing is with Loki, or rather,
with Loki, you just steal all the other Loki's power.
Well, not even steal his ults. It's just you're gonna have like 30 Lokis on the map, right? So that's like a lot of instances to manage. And then Doctor Strange, obviously, is the portal, which makes sense. Cloak and Dagger, I assume, is because maybe each character is technically instanced as 2, and then like the ults and things, like no one would die, if that makes sense. Luna Snow, I don't really know why. That one I'm a little confused about. Maybe it's just another healer thing. Yeah, actually, all the healers except for Mantis are all banned. Most of them, except for Jeff. Actually, no, Jeff is still there. I don't know. Invisible Woman, I think that makes sense. Everyone is just going to be invisible the entire match, just hiding. It'd be kind of dumb. Adam Warlock, I also don't really understand. Maybe it's just the rezzing thing is like a bit of a problem. But I don't know. But some of them make sense. Some of them I'm a little confused about, but it could be just me.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Okay, yeah. So then that leads us to you're not gonna try this game mode at all?
I don't know, man. I have a friend that is playing Rivals, and I haven't played with him before. But like, let me just hop it up with him and hop in the game.
Okay.
So I might after Ramadan see
Nice.
how it goes.
Okay. Fair enough. Speaking of seeing how it's going, Monster Hunter Wilds is legitimately Capcom's most successful game to ever launch. Yeah. So Monster Hunter Wilds has sold a stunning 8 million copies in 3 days, netting over $500 million in revenue. Let me double check and make sure this is the most up-to-date numbers. Let's see.
That's kind of crazy, man. Because I did not feel like I did not realize it had that much pull, but like, cause to me, Monster Hunter always felt like it was like a DS game. Not to knock on it, but it was it was like a game that you play, like while like on the train or something, and then you wrap up and go. Like it's like, oh, you drop like 15 minutes and extract kind of thing. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the game. So for context, Monster Hunter World sold 6 million units in 2 weeks. The fact that this game is selling 8 million units in 3 days is phenomenal, right? Really happy for the game that's selling this much. I believe it was Steam's #1 or #2 game for. Let me see here. Yeah, I believe it was Steam's #1 or #2 game for like a couple days. Like it surpassed CS:GO for a bit. So
yeah, I think overall it was like top 5 of
Yeah.
all time, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, which is insane. But yeah, I'm really happy for the game doing that well. It's a shame that it runs like dog water, but other than that, like this game is so fun. Like, do you think you'll pick it up or no?
I might if they release a patch that like isn't like doesn't mess like that fixes some of the stuff, because like I've seen people like some scenes where it's literally like you see hard edges of the polygons, like it's like some PS1 faces.
Yeah, some of them are. I haven't ran into the issue yet, so it might be a CPU bound issue. But regardless, yes, it's not an excuse. I definitely think they need to fix their game. Hopefully they release a patch soon. Their kryptonite is just releasing a working game. I don't know what it is, but they just can't do it for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, shout out to Capcom though. I'm glad to see that they're back on their Renaissance arc, man. Like,
Yes.
it was very scary, like after around the time like Resident Evil 6 came out, because you're like, dude, what? Like at that point, they were like, dude, they just wrap it up, because they can't get Street Fighter right, they can't get Resident Evil right, like they can't. Their bread and butter is like lost, but now they seem to understand what makes their games and their like they're leaning into their strengths, I guess is a better way of saying what I want to say.
I think they've finally gotten like a good head on like each of the divisions that matter. So Monster Hunter, Street Fighter, what else did they release? Devil May Cry.
Yeah, we'll see how that one, because I think the creator or the lead director left, but maybe one of
he did. Yes, you're right.
One of the
right.
youngins comes up, because there's a rumor that they're coming up with another Devil May Cry, but
Yeah.
Resident Evil, I feel like they have a good head on its shoulders. Like the new direction of like FPS that they're taking, the newer stories is good, and it's not as like they're not like, because before I feel like they relied so much on Leon and Chris Redfield, but now they're like able to tell good stories and like have good gameplay with like people. Well, like them are like they just show up for like 2 seconds and then they're out of the game.
Yeah,
like it's not like, oh my god, we have to get like freaking Leon's like 50. Go get him. You get him from the retirement home. He has to go fight zombies.
Leon. Oh, Leon. Yeah. So we'll see what this goes. I'm very curious to see, like, because the thing is that also Monster Hunter is that's really good about it is that they have a very good support history for this game. So new monsters, new items, new armors, things like that. So that's the big aspect of it as well. I know I'm gonna play some right after this podcast, to be honest, because it's such a good game at the moment. So you know, I'm really liking it. But you know what people don't like is Ubisoft's extraction shooter. So Ubisoft had a Far Cry themed extraction shooter that has been, I say no one likes it, but I'm saying internally they didn't like it. They had to reboot it, actually. So the story behind this is that essentially they've been working on something in 2023. but after internal review, the project has been rebooted. According to several sources familiar with the project development, who said that writing was on the wall for a number of months, it was said that the final nail in the coffin came after its dedicated tech team called Talisker, also known as the old name for the Far Cry 7 before it morphed into separate projects, moved from Maverick to be fully dedicated to Blackbird in December, which is their code names for the projects. Maverick was going to be an extraction-based multiplayer shooter set in Alaska, which where players would try to survive and extract and harsh elements against wild animals, AI soldiers, and other players. And then essentially what happens is that they had to move some people around, redo development. And so the exact reason for the reboot is unclear, but the decision seems to have been made as part of Ubisoft's new strategy to streamline its teams and projects amid the company's struggles. They're saying that Blackbird also has a 2026 release date as being a very optimistic take. It's probably not going to happen that early. So we talked about extraction shooters a little bit last week with the Hunt Showdown and how it's like a very unique package, and it is fun in its own right in certain aspects. I'm very curious to see what the pull is for a Far Cry based extraction shooter. I don't know Far Cry to be unique in a specific aspect, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like to me, I feel like the big pull of Far Cry, like if I were to play it, is probably the story, right? Because I feel like they have always this gravity pulling, charismatic main villain, right? Where
yes, that is true. Yeah,
even from Far Cry 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, like they all have had very unique. So the first one was like. I know their faces. I don't know their names, right? But like they're always on the cover art. They kind of taunt the player, and the guy
who's like insanity is whatever.
Yeah. Like they're like in all aspects, like in 4, 5, and 6 and 3, whatever. Like they're kind of like interwoven into the story, and you kind of learn more about them, and they're like interesting like people to see. So to make like a multiplayer only version and not have that, like it was like the story be there, to me kind of you're losing part of the identity.
I agree,
because then outside of that, then like the gunplay is not like the world's best.
It's very boring.
Yeah, you have like, because the gameplay formula is also sort of like been stagnant, where it's like go get outposts, do some light stealth, and go guns blazing, and then okay, there now you capture the outpost.
Yes,
that's like the vibe that I get from the game. Extraction, I don't know like what twist it could add, unless like there's like some like I don't know, like what if so there was a game that did this somewhat in the past where it was called I think it was called like Keenan Lynch. So on the second, they had a multiplayer version where it's like you and a bunch of people go rob like save houses, and once you're done, you could kill the other people and steal their share.
Oh,
so I'm curious. It's like
that's kind of cool.
If they would have a twist like that on a Far Cry game, because I'm assuming you would be looting some like ancient some temple relics or something, and then you would take that and come back, and then maybe you're like, I don't know, go rogue, and maybe they could add some twist to that, but I don't know how else they can expand.
That sounds like a good idea, to be honest. But yeah, I would agree with you. They would have
Ubisoft
to change up.
Me, bro.
Yeah, Ubisoft and who else was it that you said earlier in the? Oh, Capcom. Put me in.
Capcom.
Put me in, coach. Yeah.
I got it, man.
Let's see.
I mean, how are you feeling about this? Would you be interested in another Far Cry, or are you kind of like put it away?
I don't have a preference. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, get rid of Far Cry, because I played 5, and I played 5 in a sense that like I acknowledge that game may not have been for me, because I played through it and I just didn't really enjoy it. But it is for a certain audience that maybe it's more casual with their shooters, right? Like I personally prefer a game like a shooter, or like a game like this with like a little bit more depth in it. When I played it, it seemed like very simple and very like easygoing, and it's just not my thing. So if it has a good story or whatever, or a unique mechanic like you're saying, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I haven't played much extraction shooters in general, so I can't say like, oh, this is the like that's like my jam, you know. So like let's see where it goes, I guess. But I have no like hard preference, like get rid of it type thing,
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. But what is this? Okay, yeah. And I mean, anything else? Anything that you want to say to the world about this specifically?
No, not really.
No. Okay. Yeah. No. I wonder if what the reason for the cancellation is, or for the reboot rather. They didn't say, but maybe they're just not as confident in it. Who knows?
I don't know, dude. Another week. I'm gonna say it again. I don't trust these internal reviews because they also closed down one of my favorite games. Say freaking Last of Us Factions. I get every day. I fight with PlayStation.
Release
because they keep canceling games.
Yeah, well, PlayStation is allegedly fighting with itself. Apparently, PlayStation hit with more layoffs following recent game cancellations. So, a lot of, let's see here. There's just been more layoffs from Sony, and Sony has not really released a statement. Basically, they said the PlayStation-owned studio Visual Arts was hit with fresh layoffs this week amid a further restructuring of Sony's U.S. game development operations. And then let's see here. There was a quote from former PSVA project manager Abby Lamaster, now at Riot Games. She posted this. It was tough waking up to messages that many of my friends and former co-workers from PSVA were laid off this morning. The layoffs today hit hard. PSVA let go of developers with decades of subject matter expertise, talent that will be extraordinarily difficult to recoup. The industry can be unpredictable, but the skill, experience, and the passion of people I worked with at PSVA are undeniable. There's some speculation from Kotaku basically saying like, hey, like this might be because of like how big of a bomb Concord was and how much money they poured into that project. So we heard earlier that they're restructuring and canceling a lot of the games that were in development, like the live action God of War game, things like that. And this might be just part of that, to where it's like, hey, we're still hurting, we have to close something else down as well,
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Because I was thinking about it before. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but my thought was like, oh, why don't you just sell it? But then like some people were saying, well, like if you sell like a studio or industry at a loss, or a studio or like a group of talent at a loss, now you're gonna give somebody like a talent for like below market rate. Like so you're basically just building your competition.
Yeah.
So and it's not like oh dude we don't want competition, but it's like, hey, like why
make it easy for them?
Yeah. But it's so unfortunate when you realize like this is like some people's livelihood that
Yep.
like they wake up every day, all they want to do is just work and just like get some satisfaction of just like, hey, like I'm outputting something and I feel good about myself, and then now they're just because the not even your manager, you're talking about like 3, 4 levels or 5 levels above you makes a decision and everybody has to move, and it's like, why does the ship have to sink with everybody, kind of thing. But then I don't know, it's crazy to think, because like back when the Wii U flopped so hard, they could have just gutted everybody, but Iwata at the time was like, no, dude, just cut my CEO salary in half. Which is like, that's such a class move, because like it's like, hey, like I made the call, like,
Yep.
all right, man, put it on me, kind of thing, right? But I feel like not everyone can do that, because like if it's not like mandated from the point of origin of like where the decision was made,
Yeah.
then like I like, imagine it comes like outside that like, hey, you made the bad decision, you're gonna have to take half the cut, and then it's like, well, okay, I'll just leave.
Yeah.
And leave you with a stinker, kind of thing,
Yeah, it's very sad. Again, like you're saying, people's livelihoods are at stake here, and it's not as simple as like, well, like it's just a game studio. Like, no, these are people's jobs, and it's making it increasingly harder for people to be interested in the games industry, I would argue, because it's so unstable. Even if you make a good product, you get fired. If you make a bad product that you don't have any control of, you get fired. Like there's no real accountability, which really sucks, you know?
Yeah. In this case, like these people didn't even make the product. They're working on something because they were told to work on something, and then they said, actually, we don't want it, and then you're gone. And it's like,
Yep.
like, you know.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but you know, wishing these people the best, but we'll see where this goes. Speaking of not wanting it, EA has, God, I hate this story so much. Respawn Entertainment's new multiplayer FPS project has reportedly been canceled. Now, there's no information as to what it was. Nobody has any clue, but a lot of people are like speculating it's Titanfall related, based on the articles. I personally don't know. I would assume it wouldn't be, but it could be. That could be the Cope talking. All I know is that the Titanfall Reddit is on suicide watch right now, and it's kind of insane. They're like, dude, it's over. Take overdose on the pills, essentially. I don't know. I think it's one thing to, if you know what it is and it got canceled, then you can be like upset. But realistically, like, we don't know what it is. So could have been Titanfall, could have been something else. I honestly have no idea, right? On the assumption that it is Titanfall, then I think that sucks, obviously, but realistically, they haven't cared about the product in years, and why would they start now? So
Yeah, yeah, because they definitively like are more in favor of Apex than Titanfall.
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't know if the EA Starfield Star Wars license was like it was done, but I mean it could have been just another
Battlefront.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because I know what's his name, like the head of Respawn, like got pulled into like more like EA focused position. So who knows, man?
Yeah.
I mean,
who knows? But I guess we'll find out if it ever comes out what this is. Then it'll be a lot more sad. But until now, we have no idea what it could be. So that leads us to more EA news. Essentially, the French voice actors, all of French voice actors for Apex Legends have quit. And it's interesting because you would think like, oh, like there must be something pretty bad going on. And it turns out, yeah, like EA has sent them new contracts, and detailed in the new contracts is saying, hey, like part of this contract says that you're okay with training AI voice models to use your voice, essentially trying to train something to get rid of your job. Which, in America we had the strike, the SAG-AFTRA strike, and for voice actors and actors to like, hey, like, no, we're not cool with AI stuff. So here, I think it's one of those things where they don't do it, or if you do it, then people will unionize. I don't know if the French voice actors have a union like that, but yeah, they basically said like, yeah, we're not gonna be signing this. This is really stupid. Like, what is wrong with you? I think there was Pascal Chemin, basically. Oh, this is in French. I can't read this. Essentially, he was like, no, like this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not gonna sign this, and we're all quitting in retaliation, and so they did.
Yeah, man. To quote a very French saying, "Soccer blue, dude." That's insane.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, man.
It is unfortunate. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying because I was seeing that like there are like I saw a TikTok from Yuri Lowenthal.
Yuri Lowenthal.
Apparently, yeah. The SAG-AFTRA strikes are still going on right now.
Which I was not aware of until very recently. Which was
Yeah. So like for voice actors, so like they're still they're still trying to get proper
protections and all that stuff.
Yeah, protections against this stuff, right? Because I think it's like we always undervalue like what it means for like arts in general, right? Like I think take it for granted a lot. I think even growing up as like children of immigrants, we were very much like, oh, you have to pursue something that's like financially successful because like our families like took risks to to immigrate and do all this stuff, and we have to kind of give value to
Yeah.
kind of build like things, right? So like there's certain risks and decisions that we have to take. So I always looked at arts as like, oh man, whatever, bro. What do you mean you put red on a canvas? What do you mean you did this or you acted? But then like when you look at the like over time, I realized there's a lot of care and soul that you can feel and see in how it impacts the total product. Like at a very bare minimum, you can compare that to like what food is, right? Like you can look at someone that makes very good food, like a home cooked meal versus something that's made on a factory line, that's extruded and plopped into like a mold, and then they wrap it in a container, like wrap it in a friggin' aluminum foil wrapping or something. Right?
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
like they're like a lot of the stuff is like, oh, like on paper, like why do you care about this stuff? But it's like, no, just some of the best performances and some of the best art and some of the best music comes from people just like pouring their feeling into stuff, right? And then AI just kind of comes in and looks at this and says, oh, like I see a pattern here, and then I'm just gonna like imitate it. And it's just like,
yeah, and I mean, it's very simply the argument of like, AI, in my opinion, can't create art. Like art, it can create something that looks like art, but art comes from a human experience. It comes from something that's, you know what I'm saying? Like those things matter. And the fact that this is becoming a trend that's like more and more acceptable in video games from the industry is a little sad. We saw there was a story of Call of Duty doing the same thing recently. A lot of the voice actors had their voices replaced by AI and things like that. So these giants need to be pushed back against to say like, hey, like this is not something that we're okay with. One, as consumers, and two, as actors, obviously. But we'll see if that gets taken anywhere, because it's the fact that they wrote it into the contract, like that's pretty shitty in my opinion. Or pretty garbage. But I don't know. Maybe these voice actors can go work for Bethesda or something, because they know that Bethesda knows that fans are eager for Starfield updates, in case you didn't know.
Hey, maybe they are, man.
Maybe they are. I don't know. They basically said Bethesda knows fans are excited for, or rather eager for Starfield updates, promises an exciting year. And from Starfield Twitter account, they said, we know you're eager for an update, and we truly appreciate your passion for Starfield. The team has been hard at work, and while we're not ready to share specific details yet, we have a lot of exciting things planned for the game this year that we can't wait to talk about. I thought the support for this game kind of died. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought they were done after that one DLC. So I think it's kind of good that they're able to put more work behind this project, because I'm sure there are some people on the team who are excited for what it was, and like who do want to make it something that's good and things that people will really enjoy. And it's one of those things where maybe the workers just want to stave off working on Skyrim for as long as possible, and so they had to get thrown back into there. But
yeah, I mean, this just means PS5 port soon is what I'm seeing.
Oh,
because like I mean, because like they have to, like my guess is like they need to kind of drum up some reason to look at the game again. So it's like I would assume you would do a content drop and then do the release. So then it's like, oh yeah, well, let's check out the game that we didn't play before. Plus, let's just get see this new thing that's in the game. I mean, I'm curious to see if they're gonna streamline things or just kind of keep it as is, because I think it does not make feasible sense, unlike because like I wouldn't say this launched in the same way that Cyberpunk did. So like I feel like Cyberpunk, like it was like an investment in brand, like saving the brand of CD Projekt Red, because I think before then they were known as like a studio that was just, I don't want to say they hit bangers, but like they're like, oh, they're very serious about what they're doing, right? And they don't have the same release, I guess, category or release like library that Bethesda has. Bethesda, they've been doing this for years, so people maybe can expect like what a Bethesda game looks like, which I feel like Starfield was like a pretty safe Bethesda game. Like I was like, okay, like the only thing that was like so overbearing was just the loading screens, which is like, whatever, like.
Yeah,
but
it's not for like you and me, but it does satisfy a certain audience, and it's one of those things where, in my opinion, I think more content is always good, especially for a product you paid for, and if it's free content, that's even better. I think with like you're saying, a PS5 release is probably imminent, just because it's a currently an Xbox and PC exclusive, and then eventually it will come to PS5. Because Phil straight up said that's happening. You know, so I'm always open for it being spread on more platforms. Whether it's worth the investment for people to play, that's another number that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for it to come out on the Switch too.
Yeah, there you go. I can load an area a minute, basically. Maybe if it had the advanced ray tracing graphics of the PS5, it could do it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the PS5 loads the game too fast. It's like, I can't handle this, and they had to fix the game to be able to run that.
Exactly. That's why. Yep.
Yeah. Japan, speaking of PS5s, Japan has a new interesting system, which is, I wanted to get your take on this. I saw this, and you don't have to say a lot on it, but Japan, essentially, they have this new PS5 rental program to where you can essentially rent, it's surprisingly affordable, but you can rent with an 8-day plan being around $6.56 USD, and the 15-day plan priced around $11.92 a day in USD. Essentially, you can rent a PS5 for a week, play on it, and then return it. I'm very surprised that this is a thing, but it's so successful. But both the 8-day and the 15-day rental passes are booked until mid-April, with appointments beyond the date not yet available. I think that's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's kind of neat. This idea of like renting a PS5. I obviously maintenance, things like that. That's a whole different issue that you have to worry about. But conceptually, like, I don't see why not. This isn't a thing.
I'm surprised. I thought it would be more expensive.
Yeah, same. Also that. I thought it'd be a lot more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the yen is messed up right now. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if it's like, oh, you're just making it easier for folks to play, which is good. Like reducing the barrier of entry, but then at the same time, it's do you just get it, and like, do you rent a game from them as well, or do you I mean, we don't have the answer here, but like,
yeah,
I imagine, okay, let me go buy Monster Hunter, and then let me go rent the
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's a good point. It's the same way I feel about Game Pass, where like you can get you play games on Game Pass, and then they're like, oh, you can buy the DLC. It's like, yeah, but I don't own the game for the DLC that I'm buying for. It's like,
yeah. The interesting thing,
yeah,
I don't know. No, I was gonna say I agree with you. I don't know how the game system sharing thing works, but I assume you can rent games from them. That would make sense if you couldn't, you know. But this has been translating to people like trying out a PS5, and they're like, oh, like, I liked it a lot. I actually want to buy one. And they did. Some people have been reportedly buying PS5s after they've rented it, just to, like, you know, transfer their save data and enjoy it as well. So I think that's kind of cool.
Let me see real quick, because there's something like that in the US.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a Rent a Center. So you can rent you can rent a console. Like, okay, so here, PS5 Slim, 1 terabyte disc model, $27 a week.
Okay.
Not
too bad. I wonder why it's not more popular here. Maybe it's just consumerism is like, all right.
I mean, I think this is a thing, like, people do. Like, people go to Rent a Center, but they do like a rent to own model. And it's actually insane. Okay, I'm pivoting here. So yeah, so Rent a Center. I never looked into it. Like, the only thing I know is that, like, you can rent some things, and then you can, like, after you're done renting it, it's like a prolonged lease agreement. You can get you can buy the thing out. Guess how much from Rent a Center a PS5 Slim cost? Disc version.
Dude, it has to be crazy.
Like you're paying $26 or $27 a week.
Like total, you're saying?
Yeah.
$800.
1,500.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude. Okay, well, maybe we should just go to Japan and rent from there. Don't rent from the US.
That's insane. Why is it so expensive?
I think that's how they do their business model. Like I think because some people don't like paying lump sum and they're okay. Like the thought of just paying piecemeal over time is simple. Like imagine if you go up to somebody like, yo, you don't have to give me like you don't have to give me this much like $700 up front. Just give me like $20 a month for like 5 years, and then like okay, and they get way more than the cost, but they're facilitating the transaction, I guess. But yeah,
Damn, that's kind of crazy. That's insane. But if it's not clear, do not do that. That is a horrible deal. But obviously, I assume people knew that already. But let me see here. Okay, so that leads us to our next story here. Essentially, Josef Faris, right?
Frick the Oscars.
Yeah, exactly. Frick the Oscars. The GOAT, my king. He is the director of Hazelight Studios. They've made It Takes Two. What's it called? Way Out, and now the newest game, Split Fiction, which is doing great reviews wise. Was interviewed, and essentially, people have called the game woke. The comment he was responding to specifically said, "Another quote feminism propaganda unquote soaked game. Walk on ... And he says, let me get his exact quote. He said, "I guess that somebody reacting that there are two women in the game." He said, "Let me say this in Two Brothers there were two guys. In A Way Out there was two guys. In It Takes Two there was one guy, one woman, and now there are two women. Everybody's complaining. Come on, man. I mean, let's face it, man. It's also based on my daughters. I don't care what you have between your legs. It's not interesting for me. Good characters is what's important to me." W take. Honestly, amazing take. I fully endorse this idea. I don't understand why.
Thinking about his daughters, bro. Like I don't know why people are twisted up. But
yeah, it's just unnecessary. It's that thing we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's like the culture war of like, it's woke, I'm not gonna play. It's like, okay, man, don't play it then. Like I don't know.
These guys don't even play video games anyways.
Yeah,
they're always just like
complaining. It's just like people actually complained about Monster Hunter being woke as well. The blacksmith that is in your hub or whatever, she has like that like side part haircut where the side of her head is a little shaved and then combed over. And they're like, "Dude, what is this man's haircut?" And he's like, "What are you talking about, dude? What is wrong with you? It's just a haircut." Yeah. Also, this is like a game about hunting monsters. So I think it's good on him for calling that out, this like stupid this stupid comment. But at the same time, it's just like, man, like people are too confident in being wrong and having these bad takes,
Yeah, people just want to. I mean, look, I think the worst thing was that they started to monetize on freaking people's thoughts, because some people like there's that meme that like, bro, please put like tariffs on, like 1,000,000% tariff on podcasting equipment. I say this as like a podcast, but it's like it's I don't know. People just want to say their points, which I mean, it's ironic because that's what we're here doing. But some people aren't even like in the space, or like they don't even play games. They're just looking at a thing and just saying whatever, right?
And
like,
even if you do play games, like that comment, like those comments, like it doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's this guy saying things for the sake of saying things, and it's very stupid, because he like straight up was just like, "Oh, dude, like what do you mean, bro? Like it's woke. It's woke." It's like, how? Why? Like where? Explain it to me. Is it just because girls equal woke? Is it just because it's something that you don't like that it's woke? That's the most annoying thing about it.
You want to know why? It's because the girls were not eye candy. That's why it's woke.
Actually, relevant-ish in a sense that I think you're correct. And another big thing is that they the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, when it came out, it essentially has, when the Horizon or rather the new one came out, there were complaints about, "Oh, she's too manly. She's like, he has peach fuzz and all this stuff." You remember those conversations? Mm-hmm. So people complain about that. It's woke. She's a man. She's trans. Whatever. And it's just like, okay, man, like it's a game. Like ignore it. Whatever. But when the new one came out, the remaster, they actually went back and changed her physical model a little bit, I believe. Let me double check and make sure here before I'm let me see. Horizon Zero Dawn model change. Yeah, Alloy's look has been changed. Essentially, they made her more like let me see here. Yeah, and it might be just because like the upscaling, but they they made her like more like her face like smoother and like more feminine, if that makes sense, in the remaster. Which, like, I don't know if it's just a state of
maybe there's just more polygons to. No, I'm just.
yeah, that could be it. I think it's hopefully they didn't capitulate to like people complaining, but yeah, again, this take is wild. I think people should just get over it and shut up and just enjoy the game, you know. Let me see here. Yeah, but then that leads us to our next story. Death Stranding 2 pre-orders are going to open by the end of the month, according to let me see here. Who is this by? It's from a magazine, but essentially, yeah. The Death Stranding 2 pre-orders might open up soon. And Hideo Kojima, Norman Reedus, Troy Baker, and more will be presenting as special South by Southwest panel this weekend. I think that this game, like, dude, legitimately, I will probably pre-order this game. Even though you're not supposed to pre-order, I know that, but like, I enjoyed the first one so much. I want to get in when this game is hot and fresh and people are playing it together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to pre-order.
It's because part of it is just the experience. I don't know. And maybe because it's this new one, the sequel, like has a lot more eyes on it. Maybe like things will get spoiled because I think part of the enjoyment of the game was just not knowing anything, and just kind of going in and seeing how like the interactions with some of the NPCs or some of the like things things that you unlock, or like the random bits of story that you see, or like, okay, why is he drinking his Monster now, or so, it's like you just see random things that are just surprising. And like right now, dude, I just opened Twitter on the side, and I saw like something from Split Fiction, and it's like, okay, I don't want it, like, it's not even not that it was like a spoiler, but it was just like, okay, there was like something that like would have been so cool to see without being spoiled on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then I just opened Twitter and it's just there. So like, so I probably will pre-order this and get it day one as well.
Yeah.
What edition? I don't know. PS5 or PC? I don't. Actually, I think it's PS4, PS5 only.
Oh, is it? I thought it was coming out PC also.
Let's see. Death Stranding 2. PlayStation. All right, bro. We gotta dust off the PlayStation.
The issue is that I don't have PS5 online, so, and I don't want to get it. Bro. But if I want the online features, I'll have to get it, type thing, you know.
Just get it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be worth it. But we'll see.
It's I have a friend that is also very big into Death Stranding. You know who you are.
Get him. But I'm excited for this game. I want to play this really badly, but I'm waiting for him to predict the future again. So, you know. And then one of the last stories we have here, the Battlefield. There was a leak of the demo. Not demo. Sorry. There was some leak of some alpha footage. Essentially, EA is doing alpha like gameplay or alpha test right now, and someone recorded it and posted it. He is probably going to be killed by the end of the week, but essentially, did you get a chance to watch the footage?
I saw a bit of it. I liked it. It kind of reminded me of Battlefield 3, which for me, I think 3 and 4 were like the best. So it's good that they're coming. They're kind of leaning into that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it looked kind of neat. I'm down for just a basic like normal like Battlefield military shooter, if that makes sense, not like a futuristic one.
Mm-hmm.
It looks cool though. I am probably gonna pick it up, but we'll see when it comes out because I feel like running with the full squad on this game would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
It's. I mean, Battlefield is just good fun, man. Honestly.
yeah, I agree. I think it's good fun. I think it's very cool in a sense that like it's very unique at what it does and it's very good at what it does generally.
Mm-hmm.
Building instruction, team gameplay, all that stuff. So we'll see where that goes. I'm excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the final story we have for y'all today, and this is breaking news. This literally happened like an hour ago, or rather, Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, wait. You have to do it in the SpongeBob talking fish noise.
Oh, Forza Horizon 5 on PS5 requires a Microsoft account. Our top story. Yeah, I don't have.
It's a good turntables. You know, Sony trying to do it to PC, then they say, all right, bro. Post up.
Yeah, actually, it's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like against this necessarily. I'm not surprised, rather, you know, but I wonder if it's going to cause any friction with the PS5 account, things like that. So I saw a comment on Reddit where it's like, as someone who has a fetish for making accounts, this does nothing but make me happy. So
oh god,
you know, I do think that the account overload is getting quite dramatic and annoying, but it's a Microsoft account. I feel like everyone usually has one generally at this point, but I could be wrong.
Because I'm trying to see. Yeah, okay. So this is even on Steam. Like,
Yeah.
so I googled it, just cross reference. So Forza 5 on Steam requires an Xbox account. I see a post 9 months ago, so it sounds like it's not. They're not just doing it as like a stick it to you kind of thing. It seems like even if you buy games on Steam, it's gonna be there. So it's
yeah, and I think it's actually one of those things where they have to do it for numbers reporting as well. They want to see how many people how many of their players are playing on PS5 and all that stuff, and having that registered account information will help with that. So, you know, I'm not against this idea. I'm not surprised, and I don't think it's going to cause any harm, but I guess we'll find out. It should be fine. Yeah, and they did say it's mandatory.
It depends on how the grifters are gonna take it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're like, oh my god, you see, they're woke. Actually, I don't know. I'm curious to see how they're gonna turn this into a woke thing.
Yeah, we'll find out. We will find out next week. But yeah, I mean, that's our podcast for the week. Any closing remarks, anything like that?
None on my end. If you're listening to this, take a minute to be thankful for the things that we have around us.
Yes, sir.
That's all.
I agree with that. Be thankful for what you have, and be thankful that this episode of Beard Bytes is at an end, because we are excited for the next week. Other than that, you guys have a good one.
Take care.
All right, bye.